Disputes always arise between countries because each of it has their own agenda and priorities. International disputes bring the meaning that disagreement over a point of law or fact, a conflict of legal views, or of interest between two parties. During the era of League of Nations, solving the disputes between countries using force were allowed. However, since United Nations existed, an obligation of peaceful settlement on international disputes agreed by all members as is stated in Article 2, Clause 3 of the Charter of the United Nations, aka UN Charter. It stated that all members shall settle their international disputes by peaceful means in such a manner that international peace and security and justice are not endangered. Also in Article 2, Clause 4 stated that all members shall refrain in their international relations from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state or in any other manner inconsistent with the purposes of the United Nations. There is criteria that have been used by International Court of Justice to identify international disputes, which is number one, the court's determination of the existence of a dispute is a matter of substance, not a question or form or procedure. Number two, it must be shown that the claim of one party is positively being opposed by the other party. Number three, failure to respond to the demands of one party to a dispute does not dismiss the existence of the dispute. Number four, negotiation and dispute are distinct on principle. However, it helps the International Court of Justice to prove the existence of the dispute. Number five, the issue of the disputes must be specified clearly. And number six, the dispute must be, in principle, exist during the application is submitted to the court.
Hello, my name is Larasati Dianda Zahra, metric number 276400, and I will explain about the territorial dispute between Chad and Libya. So, the dispute initially began in 1973 when Libya captured the Ozo Strip and claimed to annex it in 1975. Then, since Libya interfered into Chad's civil war, the issue escalated badly. And finally, in 1989, Chad and Libya entered into a framework agreement on the peaceful settlement of the territorial dispute in order to settle this long-standing boundary dispute. And in 1990, both parties agreed to brought the issue before the International Court of Justice or the ICJ. In Libya's defense, there is no existing boundary. Thus, Libya asked the court to determine one. Libya also considered that the case concerns a dispute regarding the attribution of territory, as Libya's claim on the basis of equalities of rights and the titles of the indigenous inhabitants. Chad, on the other hand, claimed that there is an existing boundary and asked the court to declare it. Chad affirmed their stance by relying on the 1955 Treaty of Friendship and good neighborliness between France and Libya. The court first analyzed the treaty in order to discover the exact content of the parties' prior agreement. Then the court closely examines the border between Libya and Chad after concluding what the contracting parties desired based on the treaty. And finally, the court decided that the 1955 treaty should have been used to determine the permanent frontier. As a result, the court concluded that the contested area belonged to Chad, and Libya officially handed over the Ozo Strip to Chad in 1994. So that is all from me. That is all for Chad and Libya dispute. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day to madam and all my classmates. My name is Muhammad Nur Syami Syafiq bin Muhammad Ali, matric number 278592. Today, I want to talk about the Korean War, Armistice Agreement. The method has been used to settle the dispute was diplomatic means. In the diplomatic means, we have negotiations, mediations, conciliations, and good office. Firstly, fact of the case. The Korean War started on 25 June 1950 until 27 July 1953. Before the war, North Korea was occupied by the Soviet Union, while South Korea was occupied by the United States. The country has been divided in half at the 38th parallel. After the Soviets and United States troop withdrawal, both countries did not accept the separation border permanently. In 1950, North Korea started to attacking the South Korean and across the 38th parallel. They managed to defeat the South Korean army and capture the capital city of South Korea, which is Seoul. South Korea appealed for support, and United States wanted to contain the spread of communism, has pushed the United Nations to come with a resolution. Secondly, resolutions. The Security Council appealed for North Korea to withdraw his troops, but it was ignored. As a result, the United Nations was granted to send UN Army from 16 nations to help South Korea. It was commanded by General MacArthur. They managed to push back North Korean army to retreat over the 38th parallel, but General MacArthur has made aggression move to take over Pyongyang, the capital city of North Korea. It was triggered the Communist China to help North Korea to take back the city. The aggression from both sides has made effort from UN General Assembly to make peaceful talk in 1951 in Kaesong has become slowly. They want to discuss about signing an armistice. There were 5 articles that were discussed in the agreement. Article 1, Military Demarcation Line and Demilitarized Zone. Article 2, Concrete Arrangement for Ceasefire and Armistice. Article 3, Arrangement relating to prison of war. Article 4, Recommendation to the government to concern on both sides. Article 5, Miscellaneous. After 2 years of negotiations, an armistice was signed on 27 July 1953 at Panmunjom in 38th parallel. A demilitarized zone was set up, which stands to this day. That's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
My name is Abir Sirfan with metric number 276385, and I'm gonna explain about the background and methods on dispute of sovereignty of Pulau Sipadan and Legitan. The method that been used for this dispute are jurisdiction case through advocacy, law, and conciliation in the courthouse. Indonesia and Malaysia brought a case before the International Court of Justice with the aim of deciding the dispute over sovereignty of the island of Sipadan and Legitan on November 2nd, 1998. Each country has claimed based on treaties and based on history. Indonesia uses the 1892 Convention between Great Britain and the Netherlands as the source for sovereignty claim, and also uses claims by successions from the Netherlands that allegedly acquired it through a contract with the Sultan of Bulungan, the original title holder. Malaysia also uses claim by succession from a series of transfer of the title, which originated from the former sovereign Sultan of Sulu. The title has been passed in turn to Spain, to the United States, to the Great Britain on behalf of the state of North Borneo, to the United Kingdom, and finally to Malaysia.
Hello, my name is Berwin Haikal Ilham with metric number 276399, and I'm here to explain about the resolution on Sipadan and Legitan dispute. ICJ, as the arbitration agency that has the power to settle this case, decided that because the court found that both parties didn't have valid rights under the agreement to Legitan and Sipadan, the court finally considered a legal avenue to determine whether Malaysia or Indonesia could be sovereign on the island by dispute based on the virtue of the effectiveness. The effectiveness referred to here refers to the activities carried out by each country's government to maintain and preserve the island. Some of the things like marine patrol activities, like houses, administration of the island, and matters aimed at maintaining the sovereignty of the island and direct orders from the government. Indonesia claims that the presence of the Netherlands and Indonesia The Navy in waters of Legitan and Sipadan, as well as Indonesia, adds to the activities of Indonesian fishermen. However, the court considers Indonesia's claim to be invalid and has no legal basis or government authority. On the other hand, Malaysia has shown that they are conducting effective administration in Sipadan and Legitan. Malaysia also established turtle conservation, and they also built in 1963 they built a lighthouse that still exists and is maintained by the Malaysian authorities. But in the end, the court decided that the court gave full claim to sovereignty over this conflict to Malaysia for some of the considerations that have been described previously. And that is the last presentation from our group members, which is by me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.